What's up, everybody? I wanted to talk a little bit about three things that, in my experience, my 31 short-lived experience, that you really have to budget. And I see this trend of people that they're having issues with these three things, and it's causing them a lot of problems. So the first thing is budgeting. I mean, it seems obvious, but it's not. Budgeting your finances. So you need to go ahead and you get some type of budgeting app like YNAB or Mint. Personally, I like Mint. You can see my first video on how I made 100,000 in a couple years in investing. That's going to help you budget. So it's like anything else. Like, you really need to at least start to have awareness of where you're spending your money. That way you can make changes, and even subconsciously, if you're not like really making a budget, but you're looking at what you're spending, it's going to help you spend less money. That way you can get to a point, like in my last video, where you're able to save or invest about 30 to 50% of your income. So that financial hygiene is going to help you extremely well, especially if you're trying to improve your value as a man. Unfortunately, the way things are, women, they do like a man that has resources. It's not the only thing, but it is up there. So make sure that you do have that on point, and you really want to be able to get to the point where you have financial freedom, right? So at some point you can go ahead and quit your job, and maybe your investments are making enough money to give you passive income, and you can live off of those, or you can start on a side hustle and work on something else. But you want to get to the point where you have the freedom to not work underneath anybody else and have a boss. And then the second thing is definitely dopamine. Well, we'll cover that last, so we'll talk about calories. So the second thing you have to budget is calories. And again, this seems like it'd be obvious, but half of America is obese, and we've got a lot of problems here with people that they don't understand simple thermodynamics, and they kind of just give in to consuming too much. So you really got to burn more calories than you eat. For me, I just try to walk 10,000 steps a day. I do some side hobbies, rock climbing, jiu-jitsu, things like that. I'll lift, 3 times a week. Very simple stuff, just some strength training. And that helps, but the real reason is just the diet. I'm controlling what I'm eating. I prefer to fast, 16 hours or so. You can choose any, you don't have to do that. I just like to focus, especially in the mornings. But the idea is you just really got to be eating satiating foods. You need to, if you're going to go the fasting route, have some coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now. I want to say it's like 11 a.m. I wake up about 8 o'clock, probably eat around 1, about to go, hit the gym, and then eat after that. And so you just want to try to either delay your first meal as much as possible, so that you can just eat in a window, and you want to eat very satiating foods. You want to eat some meats for protein, so that you're not in a catabolic state, you can maintain your muscle. You want to go ahead and eat, potatoes and things that, eggs that are satiating. Obviously vegetables too. I like to eat, add athletic greens in the morning, just as like kind of an insurance policy. A lot of the big guys, Andrew Huberman and Dr. Ron Patrick, they're going to be supporting that as well. So yeah, you really just need to, it's a simple math equation. You need to be aware of what you're shoving in your mouth. A lot of it is just pure pleasure, which even leads to my next component that you need to budget, which is dopamine, because when you're eating these, you're binging donuts and pizza and cheeseburgers and, just eating too much, you're getting dopamine of that. So the third thing you need to budget is dopamine, and it's more important than ever, right now, especially since we've got access to, Instagram and social media and TikTok and all this bullshit. And so you've got people that, they're waking up and the first thing they do is grab their phone, they're jumping on TikTok. And what they don't understand is, and Andrew Huberman talks about this a lot, you can look him up, is you only have a certain amount of dopamine every week or even every day. You just have a dump of dopamine that you're leveraging in order to achieve your goals. So whenever our ancestors were hunting, we're going out, we're trying to find some antelope. In order to get off their ass, they needed some dopamine to get them motivated, to go ahead and put in the effort to achieve that goal. And so we still have that wired in us. So the dopamine is there so that I can get off my ass and make this video, right? The effort feels good. And so if you're creating some type of goal for yourself, like if you have got like a net worth goal, or you want to learn a martial art, or whatever it may be, in order for you to go through the systems and the tasks that you need to do every day to get to that goal, the dopamine is going to be there to really drive you. And so what you don't want to do is wake up and blast TikTok or watch some porn. That is going to blow your dopamine away. Binge eating, dopamine. I see all these kids that are Gen Zs that are they've got these jewels and these vapes, right? Like that didn't exist when I was 31. That wasn't really around. I mean, so people are just smoking those vapes like nothing else, not knowing that nicotine is just taking a little bit of dopamine at a time. And alcohol, binge drinking, binge eating, again, porn, TikTok, all these different things. You have to learn how to budget them. Video games is a really bad thing. I grew up playing Halo 2 and all types of video games. They really consume your dopamine. When you get done playing video games for like 5 hours, you feel like shit. That's just how it goes. So you have to learn to moderate that. So all 5/6 of those. And if you want more information on that, Andrew Huberman is going to go ahead and have a video that shows the exact percentage that, say, eating a piece of chocolate spikes your dopamine by 200%, cocaine 400%, video games 300. So he'll walk through, and you can actually, see and learn a little bit more about what you're doing every time you can't sit still. And then we're not even talking about the other effects of using up all of your dopamine in a day, because another main problem is you can't focus. So you're trying to work and you're puffing on your nicotine, you're binge eating your chips, you're whatever it is, just checking TikTok every 10 minutes. Like, TikTok has the novelty of it's constantly something new every 10 seconds. So your attention span is your dopamine just getting blown, so that whenever you try to read a book, it's like impossible. Or if you go for a walk, the walk isn't enjoyable because you're just so used to the stimulation. So I'm not going to go too far into it because I want to keep this video under like 10 minutes. We're at 7 minutes. But more so than ever, everyone needs to really focus on those 3 things. Budget your finances so you can get to a point where you have financial freedom and you're not in debt like most of America. Budget your calories, because half of America, again, not only are they in debt and only have like $200 in their savings, they're fat as fuck. So you're just going to fail in so many areas. You're going to show that you're lazy and you don't care about yourself, and your health is going to suffer. And then lastly, budget your dopamine. Don't be one of those people that have no attention span and they complain about ADHD when really they're just blowing all their dopamine, so they have no effort chemicals left to push them to achieve their goals. Thanks, guys. See ya.